So I guess what advice do you have for entrepreneurs that you think will just be just helpful for them to understand and really help them grow and just develop their businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say like I used to think it was 80%, but now it's more like 95%, maybe a little bit more than that is it's a psychology game. Like it's a game within yourself, right? Like you and controlling your mindset and your state of mind and your emotions is about 95% of entrepreneurship. So what that means is like you're gonna have highs and you're gonna have lows, and it's about you controlling them. Because like when you have, for example, when you're working like for an employer and you have a steady paycheck and you get like, for example, biweekly check, the income isn't gonna really change your mood and you because it's pretty fixed, it's pretty standard. Even when you have like salary plus commission for a lot of jobs, and not to generalize because there's a lot of different types of jobs out there, but it's going to be pretty similar. Like it'll be 50K one year, 60K another year. Like it's a pretty, but entrepreneurship could be like $0 in one year or like $5 million in a year. So those big jumps will impact you psychologically. Those big jumps. So you need to figure out a way to keep things steady. And then you do so through tracking, like as mentioned, tracking your money, tracking your time, tracking your priorities as well. And then coming up with like habits that are always the same. Like even if you look at, for example, like you're gonna franchise like a McDonald's, for instance, or some sort of other franchise, like the number one thing you learn is this is our system. This is how much salt we add. This is the type of bread we use. This is the amount of oil per fry, whatever the case is. It's like everything is like very specific because it's a system that works. And then the franchisee or whatever the case might be is not going to want you to change things up. They're not going to want you to like reinvent the wheel. They already invented it and they have a precise system. And then you want to do the same thing in your own business. Like you want to come up with like your own systems, your own recipes, your own ingredients. And look, not just food business. I'm talking about like in a regular, like if you're an advertising agency or an
Yeah.
accounting firm or whatever the case is, like you want your own like recipes for how you do certain things, like step one, step two throughout the whole day. Even if you have to improvise, even if you have to like change things up throughout the day, you want to figure out a way to like standardize things and keep things predictable. So that way you know the answer to it as they come up. And documentation, like documentation is a really big deal. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to know where certain things goes for you and your team. So like where do the like if then situations go? Like if this happens, then what? You have a file for that. Your financials, like you have a file for that, like the personal financial tracker I mentioned earlier. That but with the business obviously it's gonna be a little bit more complex because of cash flow, because sales taxes, because of other taxes you have to pay. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. I definitely recommend software in that situation. And then, of course, like differentiating like your goals from your business goals because they're going to be different. Like your business is a different entity from you, and then different also from your employees or from your team or from partners. Everybody's going to have their own goals. So, like getting very clear on
Yeah.
everyone's goals makes a big difference in business as well.